Faith Time is our weekly conversation on matters of faith, and joining us this morning is Sam Sinclair with Cloverleaf Baptist Church. Good morning to you, sir.
Hey, good morning, Chad.
We want to continue our conversation talking about patriotism and Christianity, and we wanted to talk about what do you like about this time of year?
Man, I love 4th of July. Maybe you don't know this about me. I was actually born in New Zealand and then grew up in the United States, so there's sort of a sense in which you appreciate what it is to be an American when you come in and you see other parts of the world and getting to take missions trips. So when you come to 4th of July, just the overflow of love for the country, I appreciate that. I enjoy that. The getting together, all of those elements are so special this time of year.
Why do you think it's important to pray for political leaders even if we may not agree with a party or policy?
Well, for one thing, God commands us in His Word. 1 Timothy chapter 2 commands that we offer prayers, intercessions, givings of thanks for all men, especially for kings, for those who are in authority. And then the purpose is that we would lead a quiet and peaceable life. In other words, it's part of loving our country, loving our neighbor, to pray for leaders to make good decisions, to be safe. And that might even become even more important when we have disagreements, to pray for God to work through leaders that we disagree with, and even to pray for God to help us to have the right heart of respect towards leaders.
What is a line for you between patriotism and idolatry?
Yeah, that's a great question. There is a danger for patriotism to veer off into that ditch of idolatry. In short, idolatry is when we begin to love something in the place of God or elevate something above God. And I think the simplest way to think about this is when we begin to see God as a means to an end. When we see, we want God to work so that the country can be great, rather than seeing God as the ultimate goal. When Christians are willing to compromise to pursue power rather than promote Christian principles, we've crossed over that line. When we're more concerned about getting our candidate into the White House than we are getting our neighbor to heaven, we've really crossed into that line of idolatry. And then finally, I would say, when our sort of love of country leads us to only love some of our neighbors and exclude others based on maybe their beliefs, or maybe based on their immigration status, or based on their ethnicity, or based on the fact they may be citizens of other countries, we're now in a place where we're actually disobeying God and His command to love your neighbor as yourself.
Sam Sinclair with Cloverleaf Baptist Church, we thank you for joining us for this edition of Faith Time.